Welcome to this new how-to. In this how-to we're gonna look at the approach, right? This is actually, I would say, a second try. Thanks for Parry Lagler, one of the guys who provided commands below the video. He explained how to, I would say, ensure that your flight plan isn't screwed up completely when you're adding, I would say, approach route. So we just got confirmation from the ATC that we can use specific runway, right? VR DME runway 24 and approach via the Rotterdam transition. So what we need to do is we need to go to the depart arrival, and then we have the VOR DME here, and VOR DME number 4, it's displayed here, so it says working. Then we press the execute, or then we need to select ROT, of course, because that's the one we're gonna use, and then press execute. So if we now go to the legs, then you will find out in some cases that the airplane starts to make weird turns, like as you can see here, right? So it's gonna fly back to the previous waypoint. Well, that's something we probably don't want to do. So what you can do is you can press the clear delete button, and then in most cases select this one. In some cases it says, hey, I'm unable to delete it. If that's the case, then select the one below it, which is Echo Hotel 253 in this case. So let's do that. So we're gonna zoom back, and then we're gonna say clear delete, and then press this one, and then say execute. When we now look at the map, the airplane will start turning back. So it's a little bit of, I would say, flip-flopping. So be aware of that. In some cases the airplane is not liking that. But it's now turning back to the original line. In the meantime, we're gonna acknowledge. I'm gonna decrease to 2000 feet. So what you will see is that the airplane will now make a turn to the left, and then it will continue to follow the, I would say, the original line. So what you might want to do is you might want to switch off the nav mode temporarily when changing this, because else it will result in that it will fly back. So normally what it should do is you should select an intersection which you are, I would say, have not visited yet. That will prevent this from happening, but as far as I know, and as far as I've experienced in Flight Simulator, this happens multiple times, so be aware of that. There's always an option to delete the waypoints, and that will fix the issue. So thanks again, Parry, for your comment, and I hope other people can also, I would say, benefit from this. So for now, this video will end, right? I can show you the complete approach, but that was not the goal of the video. The goal of the video was really to, I would say, explain you how you can, I would say, fix this issue. On the other end, why not continue, right? It's only 31 miles to the next waypoint. So if we zoom in, so the airplane is now flying back, and then we will fly via the ROT. So Romeo Oscar Tango, then to RR, and then via Echo Hotel 253, and then approach Rotterdam Airport. So let's keep an eye on this. So it was a very useful tip from Parry. So some other cool things, right? So which I discovered. Let's wait for the autopilot to be ready, or 8C3. Is that you've got some options here which we didn't discuss previously. One of them is the checklist, and checklist, when you press the option here, it will show you the checklists which are shown here. So probably we're gonna record a new video about that to explain you how you can use it. But just in short, you can simply press next, and then you can use this button to the correct checklist. In this case we're descending, right? So you can say descend, and then you can check all the options here. So it provides you all the options which you need to do, right? So you need to make sure that the pressurization is correct, ice protection systems are set correctly, altimeters are set correctly, and then you need to switch on the lights, right? So in my case, so let's switch on the lights. And then once you verified it, you can press the options here and we'll mark it as green. And then once you finish the list, you can mark it, I would say the list is completed, and then you can continue with the next one, right, with the approach. So that's kind of cool. I think it's a really nice option here. In the meantime, I'm gonna, I would say, decrease the descent rate a bit. Another thing which I discovered is the pause brief, and this is really, I would say, nice to have, right? So you can say, so for example, when we're gonna there are only a few options available. For example, let's make sure that the passengers are putting on their seatbelts, right? So open your eyes, or open your ears, I should say.
May I have your attention, please? The captain has turned on the seatbelt sign. Please fasten your seatbelt and shoulder harness at this time. Thank you.
For example, landing.
May I have your attention, please? We will be landing shortly. Please turn off all portable electronic devices, stow tables, secure luggage, and loose articles. Return your seat to the upright and outboard position. Extend your headrest and fasten your lap belt and shoulder harness. After landing, please remain in your seat with your lap belt and shoulder harness securely fastened until the aircraft has come to a complete stop in the parking area. Thank you.
So these are two really nice options, right? So have a look at the checklist and the pause brief, which really contains some funny things. So in the meantime, where we're descending, so we're approaching the waypoint. We're 18 miles from it. So let's see. In the meantime, we can enjoy the view. Nope. So we're gonna contact Rotterdam approach.
122.999 Cessna November Hotel. Rotterdam approach Cessna November Hotel is at 7,100 feet, descending 2,000 feet.
Cessna November Hotel Rotterdam approach. Continue to Romeo Oscar Tango as planned. Altimeter 29.902.
So the 2992, right? You can always check it. It's being displayed here, so it's here. So if it's not correct, then use the letter or the character B on the keyboard to fix that piece. One of the other things which I recently discovered, simply by luck, was the letter Q from Quebec on your keyboard, right? So you can use it to have some nice views from inside the airplane, from your co-pilot, from the top of the airplane, from your left side. It's all just one I just recently discovered, so just want to make you aware of that. So one of the things, right, which we discussed also in previous videos, that you sometimes need to contact 8 is if you want to, I would say, calculate the V speeds. But in some cases the 8 is not being displayed here. Well, it's being displayed but at the very end. So use sites such as SkyVector to find out what the 8's frequency is. For those who do not know it, I posted the SkyVector video recently. I think it was yesterday. So have a look at it if you don't know how to do it. So I'm gonna decrease the speed or decrease the descent rate a bit. And in front of us you see Rotterdam, right? So let me view from the outside. As you can see, I'm using a custom livery from the US Air Force. It's pretty neat, pretty detailed. Let me show it from some other angles.
Altitude.
And that's the sign we're almost at the altitude. And one of my favorite views is the view from the bottom of the aircraft. This is so cool. It gives you, let's say, so nice view. And sometimes I use it for landing, right, which I explained in a previous video, because sometimes, well, landing I'm not so good at it in some cases. So I will use this view to, I would say, to make sure that I land successfully. So you saw that the autopilot was kind of bumpy because it switched from the virtual speed mode. It switched back to the alt mode because it's very close to the altitude we should reach. So that's all kind of cool. So we're almost there. So we're almost at the Rotterdam waypoint. So that's let's say we're pretty close to it. And so we're almost there. So you can see the aircraft turning. And here you see some pieces of the Dutch waterworks, right? They're protecting the Netherlands for the water. And here you can see one of the largest bridges in the Netherlands, or one of the large bridges which is close to Rotterdam Airport. So let's go inside the airplane now, because we need to concentrate on this. So if we open the VFR map, right, so you can see we're making the right turn to RR, and then we're gonna make the, let me zoom in a bit. We're gonna go to the other waypoints, and then finally we're going to Echo Hotel 253. And that's also that information can also be found in the active flag information right here. So we're flying now to Echo Hotel 258, then to FRT or RR, because if you zoom out you can see that it's RR. Sometimes it's a little bit close to each other, so you won't see it very closely or very good. And then we're gonna make the turn to Echo Hotel 253, and then we're following this path to Rotterdam Airport. So switch off the V map again. And in the meantime, you can or I would say, make sure that you're decreasing the speed, right? Because you need to be, should not go too fast. Also, be careful that you're not going too slow, because it also has a negative impact. And let's enjoy the, I would say, the Dutch scenery. You can see here already. Oh, it's you can see the lights of the runway of Rotterdam Airport already. It's almost evening. Actually, I'm surprised because it's not that white as I would expect. Currently, it's snowing in the Netherlands, so I would have expected some more snow to be visible. So you can see it's blinking, and then we'll switch to the next waypoint, which is RR, which is completely in line with our flight plan. And you can see here that also there's an altitude behind it, right? So it's set to 2000. So I think this will remain the altitude until we are, I would say, close to the airport. Of course, we're gonna do a manual landing, so not using the autopilot. So we're gonna take control back in a few minutes. So we're now making the turn already to Echo Hotel 253. And then we're gonna, I would say, almost land at Rotterdam Airport. So pretty cool, really exciting. Before doing that, we're gonna enjoy the external view. And here you can, here you saw it, right? So it's now, let me hide the HC window. You can see the airport already here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna drop flaps a bit, not fully. That's something we're gonna do if we're coming closer to the airport. Keep an eye on your speed, right? Don't decrease too much.
Cessna November Hotel, you are 11 miles northeast of Rotterdam. Contact Rotterdam Tower on 119.705 when inbound on the approach.
So
Tower on 119.705 Cessna November Hotel.
so we're gonna contact Rotterdam Tower, right? Because we're almost there.
Rotterdam Tower, Cessna November Hotel, 11 miles northeast inbound 4 DME runway 24 approach.
Cessna November Hotel, Rotterdam Tower. Cleared VOR DME runway 24 approach. Altimeter 29.9 wind 225 at 5.
We're gonna confirm.
Cleared VOR DME runway 24 approach Cessna November Hotel.
You can see the aircraft or the autopilot is turning a bit. So if I would look at this, you can see that we're, I would say, straight in front of the runway, right? That's the cool thing about the star routes and the approaches, because they will actually make sure that you're really close to the airport, but also make sure that you're really well aligned to the runway. And that's something you can also see here, right? So if I would zoom in here, you can see that it's almost a straight line to the airport. Or not almost, it is a straight line. So pretty cool. So what you can do here, you can see the ATIS information, right? But it's, to be honest, it's a little bit late now. We can still contact it if we want, but there's also always a danger. So it says 225 -5. So we need to go to approach, right? So then select this box. So the temperature is 20. So hit next, send. So the idle speed should be 110, as you can see. So we're gonna contact Rotterdam Tower again, and then we're gonna focus on the approach piece. So we're coming pretty close. So we're gonna drop flaps.
Landing gear.
We're gonna drop the landing gear.
Cleared to land runway 24 Cessna November Hotel.
And make sure that you keep an eye on the landing gear, right? So gonna increase throttling a bit, because you saw that the idle speed is 100 something, 110 I think. And if you drop the flaps, especially to full flaps, you will see that it, I would say, has an impact on the speed. So we're gonna switch off the autopilot. Push down the stick, because we need to decrease our altitude. Not too much. Decrease the throttling a bit. Make some slow turns, right? Because we need, ideally we need to be in the center. Not ideally, you should be in the center of the runway. And that sometimes is a challenge for me, at least that's my experience, that it sometimes is pretty hard for some reason to land in the middle of the runway, and that's why I sometimes use the other view which I just explained, right? Because it makes it easier for me. So what you should do is, you should, I would say, keep your nose to the end of the runway. That should normally be fine. So we're gonna switch a bit to the left, and this is also where I also sometimes struggle, so hope I can make sure that I land in the or in the center of the runway a bit. This also probably proves why I'm not a real pilot in life. Maybe I would probably need to practice more and more around this. So I'm gonna decrease speed. Let's hope the landing will not be too bumpy.
Minimums.
So we've landed successfully, and there was another airplane also in front of us, right? So gonna increase the flaps again. And this was our landing at Rotterdam Airport, so that's cool. So we need to slow down because else we are not requested to contact the ground.
Cessna November Hotel, turn next taxiway.
So this was the how-to, right? In this how-to explained you how you can fix the ILS approach, or how you can fix the approach route, and especially looking at the I would say how you can have a look at the specific issue with the flight plan being I would say messed up.
Going to 118.2056
Once you I would say edit a route to the flight. And in addition to that, we simply had a nice overview of how we can, or which keys you can use, like the Q key, which you can use for different views, and some nice options of the Working Title CJ4 add-on, which has several nice options to, for example, the checklist and the audio prompts to the passengers. So let's move the airport to the parking spot, and then we will end this how-to. So I hope you liked this how-to. Again, thanks Larry for the information provided and how we can fix the issue, which we spotted, let's say, in a previous video for the CJ4 working title. Hope you liked it. If you liked it, then consider to press the like button. If you've got questions or comments, then use the comment box below the video. And if you'd like to see more of these videos or other videos like the other how-tos or the other landing and approaches, then consider to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching and see you next time.